Hi everyone, Stepan here for another training game. Yesterday's game didn't go well. I had a -11 advantage and I missed the winning tactic. I was very much winning, but I messed up. Thank you for the comments and for the feedback. Let's hope I do better today. I'm trying to reach 2100 on lichess classical by the end of the month. 4 days to go, so it's going to be tough. I've set a filter to only play higher rated opponents, and let's hope we can get the game. I need to stop talking that much, and I need to start thinking more. I'm missing obvious things, and I'm in a rush where I don't need to be in a rush. I'm thinking too long when I should make quick decisions, and I have a lot of stuff to improve. Also, thank you for the suggestion to record solving tactics. I actually am planning to start doing that, probably starting tomorrow or the day after that. And I think that might be interesting. It might take a long time. I mean, some tactics on lichess I can solve in 10 minutes or 5 minutes or a minute. But then there are tactics which take a long time to solve. Sometimes it takes me more than half an hour. So I hope it won't be as time consuming. Let me know what you think about that idea. So trying to record solving tactics. Yeah, it doesn't seem that I'm able to get the game like this. So I'll just do a normal challenge so that I don't waste too much time. And I got a lower rated opponent. Well, what can you do? And I'm black again for the third time. Okay, let's hope for a good game. He plays the early e3, that's fine. Not going for the normal semi-Slav. Now, I could try e6, I could also go bishop f5, which I prefer, because he has played the Colle system, which allows me to play the early bishop f5. I can also play bishop g5. What do I want to do here? Okay, let's not waste time in the opening. Bishop f5 or bishop g5 are both fine. I can also go g6, bishop g7. I think I want to go for my normal setup. London system in reverse. I don't care if he takes my bishop. That's too much of a time waste. Okay, a3. What's a3 about? Should I save my bishop now? I think I have time to play h6 now, just to save my bishop. That also gives me ideas of playing g5. h3 is a weird move. I think it's unnecessary because his bishop is not on f4, so I don't know what h3 is doing. Okay, just develop normally. Knight b to d7 to make sure that if queen b3 happens, I can play queen b6 without having to double my pawns. He's playing quickly, well, up until this point. I don't think his game is so good because he still has two minor pieces to develop and he has to castle. He's played h3 and a3, which I'm not sure I agree with either of the moves. Okay, that's an idea, but is she really going to play bishop g2? Okay, that changes things significantly. Now, I just want to wait for him to castle kingside. If he does, I think I'm going to try to attack him. What ideas do I have here? I believe I can just take on c4. So takes on c4. How does he put pressure on that pawn? Queen e2 is one idea. What happens if I just take the pawn? I know it's usually wrong in these positions, but d takes c4. The diagonal is weak. His bishop is on g2. dc4, b5 is really dangerous then to defend, but then again, how does he attack my pawn? Knight e5 is an idea. But I just take that. dc4, castles, rook c8. He can try knight d2, dc4, knight d2. And then I'm giving the pawn back. So I think I'm just going to start with rook c8 to see what he does. I don't want to allow, yeah, he takes now. Now, what's the correct way to take? Usually you take with the e-pawn, allowing a minority attack, but in this case, my rook is on the c file. So I think I'm going to break that rule and take with the c-pawn. Any trouble with queen b3? Not really. Queen a4? Not really. My rook is open. Queen c2 can be met with knight e4. Double attacking his knight. I'm going to take with the c-pawn. Even though that's not common, it keeps a symmetrical pawn structure, but I like that. So now bishop d6, sorry, I'm drawing arrows again. Bishop d6, knight b5. I can go bishop b8. So I'm not afraid of knight b5, and I want my bishop on the long diagonal because eventually I want to play bishop b8, queen c7. So let's go for that. Bishop d6. I don't see a problem with bishop d6. Knight b5, as I said, just bishop b8. Everything is sufficiently defended. He still needs to resolve the issue of his bishop, and that's why usually you don't play bishop d6 here, because e4 is much stronger. But I don't think rook e1, e4 works here when he has weakened his king so much with h3, g4. Okay, less talking, more thinking. I don't want to mess up any more games. I wasn't afraid of this move because I can play bishop b8. If knight b5, then I can go a6. Yeah, I'm not afraid of that, just bishop b8 seems sensible enough. Although I could try a6 immediately. a6 or bishop b8? Well, bishop b8 is a move I want to play anyway. But then I allow knight b5 and then a6, knight c7 is not a threat, knight d6 is not a threat, knight a7 is not a threat, he would have to go back. He can pin my knight with knight e5, but I'm just going to castle. Bishop b8, knight e5, castles, no problems there, so bishop b8. I can just play a6. What's wrong with a6? Knight d6 is not a threat, knight c7 is not a threat. Okay, goes back. Castles to unpin my knight. I think he just wasted the move there, and yeah. Okay, I think my next plan is knight e4. Although I could also consider knight b6 to c4. Knight b6, queen b3. Knight c4, queen takes b7. Knight b6, queen b3, bishop d3, rook e1, bishop c4, then my knight is stupid on b6. I want to get my queen to c7, but I don't think I have time to do that. Knight b6 allows queen d6. I like that. But then he has knight e5. So maybe I should just continue with knight e4. Knight e4, knight takes e4, pawn takes e4. The knight moves back to e1. Knight b6 for queen d6. He has f4. So it doesn't seem that dangerous. Knight e4, knight e4, bishop e4 seems better. So I think I'm going to do that. Just challenging his pieces. I want to get rid of this f3 knight to make sure my double attack works. Okay, he just retreats his bishop. I did not expect that. Queen c7 is stronger now. Queen c7, rook c1. He doesn't have knight e4 because I just take the rook. Knight b6, queen b3, queen c7. For knight c4. How do I get rid of his f3 knight? Maybe knight g5 is a move. Knight g5, queen g5. Knight g5, pawn g5. Then he doesn't have an easy e4. And knight g5 is also threatening bishop d3, winning the exchange, so I like that. So knight g5 threatens bishop d3, and he has to react. If he moves the knight, bishop d3. If he takes, I got rid of his main defender. So the subtle threat is bishop d3, so let's see what he does. I want to keep my queen here for this. Plays f4 immediately. Now if I take and he takes with the pawn, I have queen b6, but then my knight is hanging, but then his rook is hanging. So g takes f4, e takes f4, queen b6, queen takes knight, queen takes b2, yeah, then he saves everything. Okay, I'm going to take it. I don't want to allow f5. Knight b6, queen b3, knight c4, queen takes b7, doesn't work. Queen b6, queen d7, queen takes pawn check, doesn't work. Bishop a7, everything is defended. Knight b6, queen b3. I still like knight b6. Knight b6, queen b3, queen c7, something, knight c4. And then if b3, okay, I'm going to play knight b6. If queen b3, I'll play queen c7. Oh. What's that? Why would he play that? Knight c4, queen d8, rook d8. Queen d6. I can also go bishop a7 now. Bishop a7, what does he do then? He can't move his queen easily. He can go to b4. Bishop a7, is that diagonal stronger? I think it is. Bishop a7, rook d1. Queen d6. Yeah, my bishop is better on this diagonal, definitely. Okay. Now queen d6 threatening to take here and threatening knight c4. If knight a4, I play knight c4. Yeah, if bishop e3, I play knight c4. And he should be losing a piece. Yeah. Yeah, this is all over. Because after I take the bishop, I'm going to also take on d4. Okay, so my attacking idea worked. It wasn't as precise, but it did work. Rook e1 doesn't work because knight c2. Okay, he should resign. If he resigns, okay, I'm going to play another game. This one was short. Okay, let's see. Play. I'll try to create another game to get a higher rated opponent now. The first game was short. I played a lower rated opponent and I'm going to analyze both after I finish the second game. I'll just try to get another game in. I still have 90 rating points to go. And this evening I'm going to play a training game against James Morby, who is a great English player, 17 or 18 years old, I'm not sure, whom I've faced at the Split Open. He defeated me in 17 moves, and he was kind enough to offer to play training games against me, which I gladly accepted. And we are going to play a 60 plus 30 game, so a longer time control, and I'm not going to record it as I play, because it's going to be a very serious game. I'm going to record the analysis afterwards. Still can't get a game here. Okay, so let's play another normal random game if I can get that one. Okay. Yeah, finally white pieces after a long time had black 3 times in a row. Okay. E4. The Owen defense or the English defense. Okay. We are playing against something hyper modern, so let's play principled chess, develop. I'm not going to go for any 3 pawns or 4 pawns attacks. I'm just going to play sensible moves. I'm playing several setups against this, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to go for here. Well, now I'm going to play the setup with f3. I like this. For me, I prefer it when black fianchettos both of his bishops here. Here I think I have a slight edge if he ever takes. If he doesn't take, I'm just going to take the bishop away. And his light squared bishop is also hemmed in behind my wall of pawns, so now I'm basically playing against both bishops. Okay, now e5 is very committal. Do I want to play e5? a3 now doesn't work because I lose my e4 pawn. e5, he can go knight e7, knight f5. Although I like that. I'm going to play e5, and when knight e7 I'm going to play a3. Okay, doesn't play knight e7. He wants to play c5, which is understandable. That's why I'm going to reinforce it. If he captures my knight, my c3 pawn is going to defend d4, stopping his main break. He doesn't do that. Now, can I try and stop c5 with b4? b4, c5, b takes, c takes. My pawn structure is weak. He's going to play c5. I want to be able to meet c5 with c3, but that seems unlikely unless I play knight b1 or knight e2. Knight e2 might not be a ridiculous move. He has wasted a lot of time himself. I don't think I have time for bishop d3 first. So knight e2, c5, c3, knight e2, bishop a6, c3. I'm going to play knight e2 to stop his main idea in this position of breaking with c5. f6 I can meet with f4. My position is pretty uncomfortable, but maybe knight c3 is a mistake there. Maybe knight c3 is a mistake, because I always want to meet c5 with c3, so playing against this setup, maybe I should hold off the development of my queenside knight and try to play something else. I mean, I'm happy with my position here because I did stop both pawn breaks with pawns, which is the correct way to play. So should I just play queen d2? If I take and play knight f3, I'm stopping everything, so I like that as well. So takes, queen takes, knight f3, tempo on the queen. Develop with tempo is always good. Okay, good enough. No checks for him. He's going to castle queenside, but he has to move the queen first. When he castles queenside, I have queen a4 ideas. I have knight g3 and bishop b5. I have queen a4, knight g3 and bishop a6, trying to weaken the squares around his king. He should probably still play knight e7, knight f5, but it's getting harder to do that. And now I like my position. Now I have to start spending more time. Why is he so desperately going for a queen trade in a worse position? queen d2, queen takes, king takes, and I'm developing my king. So I like that. It's going to be an equal game, but I have more space. I think I have to play queen d2, otherwise I'm just going to be worse. Well, there's that, but what does he get with that? I don't know. Now he just gave me a square for my knight on c3, which is kind of him. I want to play knight c3 anyway. And I think I'll be quicker to seize both open files. Although knight c3 might be unnecessary, perhaps I need to meet knight f5. I need to play knight g3 before knight f5 happens. Although in this queenless position, if he takes, I could even consider after knight e7 playing g4. Material is equal, pawn structure is symmetrical, but I have extra space. I have a pawn on e5 and he has a weak pawn on e6. So kind of a French defense pawn structure still, but why is he doing that? He wants to get his knight into f5, but I'm not going to allow that because now he cannot develop his knight easily. So should I decline a queen trade now? Knight c3 for knight b5 and knight d6 seems very good. Although how does he stop? Queen takes queen, knight h6, knight f4. He has to defend his pawn, and if king defends, then knight g5, but then he has knight f8, which is unfortunate. But then I have bishop b5. Is that strong? I don't think so. So I don't think I want to take his queen. Knight c3 stopping bishop a6. Going into b5 and into d6 seems like a very strong idea. And if he plays a6, then I don't know, that's a move he doesn't really want to make, because then I can go knight a4, knight c5 with rook c1. I still don't mind if he takes the queen, because I get my king one square closer to the center. Well, if you're going to do that, then I'll think I'll just take, ruin his pawn structure. Although knight b5 first seems like a very strong idea. Do I take and knight b5 or knight b5 first? Take and knight b5 seems better. Take, knight b5, knight f5. Doesn't work because I have knight c7. Okay, I'm going to do that. So takes. Knight b5, and knight f5 doesn't stop knight d6 and knight c7. He can only stop one threat. If he plays rook c8, then still knight d6. If he castles, then knight d6. Yeah. Now I'm going to have a monstrous knight on d6, and it's not going to be easy to remove that knight. Okay. So far, so good. He does have the a4 square, but I wouldn't call that important. I need to play bishop d3 to stop knight f5. That's his biggest threat for the moment. He cannot threaten my d4 pawn that easily, and I should just be better because of my pawn structure. So now should I decline this trade? Should I decline this trade with knight b5? Knight b5, bishop b5, bishop b5, knight b8 seems like the only move. I don't like the idea of developing his rook. And if he doesn't take, I'm threatening knight c7, winning the e6 pawn. Well, I would have to calculate that, but because my knight may be trapped. And if he wants to give up his bishop here, I'm happy. So can I take the e6 pawn? That's the question. Because if I can't, then my knight is trapped. Knight c7. Oh, I'm just winning the a pawn. I don't even have to take there. Yeah, I'm just winning the a pawn. Now, which pawn should I take? The a pawn or the e6 pawn is way more valuable. The question is, can I take it? So now let's calculate. If I play knight e6 and he plays rook. If I play knight e6 and he plays rook e8, I have knight f4. If I play knight e6 and he plays rook, keeps the rook on the f file, then my knight is trapped. But how does he attack it? How does he put pressure on my knight? I really want to take the e6 pawn, but I'm not sure that I can. So where can he go? If he goes to f7, then I play knight d8 and take the bishop, win the bishop. He cannot stay on f8. He cannot go to f6. He cannot go to f5. He cannot go to f4. That means that he has to move the knight, the rook from the f8 square. And that means that he needs to go to e8. And when the rook goes to e8, I can get my knight into f4. So I think I can take the e6 pawn. So knight e6, the rook has to move. It cannot go to f7, cannot go to f6, cannot go to f5, cannot go to f4 because my knight is defending it. Cannot go to d8, has to go to e8. That's the only square. And then I'm going to play knight f4. So I can take the e6 pawn, because the e6 pawn is way more valuable than the a6 pawn. And once I get rid of that pawn, I have a very dangerous passed pawn on e5. I just hope that I didn't miss something, but I don't think I have. Yeah, that was the only square, and now knight f4 was my calculation. Okay, now I'm a very important central pawn up, and I'm going to castle kingside, so I'm not going to run into any problems for the pawn. I think it's a free pawn. Now it's going to be hard for him to move his d7 knight because of knight h5, knight f6 check, which is really scary. Okay, I'm not afraid of that. I'm just going to castle, get my rook into the game. That's a very strange move. What? I have a check on e6. I have a check on h5. I could even try doubling up my rooks first. I think doubling up my rooks makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I should just double my rooks, because rook f8 is not possible. King g7 is a nothing move. It doesn't do anything. In fact, I would say it makes his position worse. Yeah, now I was calculating knight h5. And what's the problem with knight h5? Knight h5 check. King either h8 or g8. And I just double my rooks. Yeah, knight h5. A free doubling of my rooks. Thank you very much. Okay. Double up. He doesn't have any squares for his knight. f4 is taken, h4 is taken. Yeah, my position is much, much better. Do I want to trade rooks here? Knight d2, rook takes, knight h4 is not a threat. Although my knight on d2 isn't such an active piece. I wish I could play knight h4. Oh, I see a good move. So bishop takes knight, h takes g6, knight h4, tactics. Knight h4, if he takes my rook, I take on g6 with check. He plays king h7, then I take his rook, then he takes on g6. Yeah, it doesn't work. Bishop g6, h g6, knight h4, rook takes rook, knight takes g6 check, king h7. Rook takes f2, king takes g6. No, doesn't work, doesn't work. Does e6 work? e6, his knight can only go to b8. e6, knight b8. Knight e5, rook takes rook. Oh, then I'm threatening checkmate. Okay. e6, knight b8, knight e5, rook takes rook, rook takes rook. If he takes my knight, rook f8 is checkmate. e6, knight b8, knight e5. If knight e5, I just win the rook. If rook f2, I take on f2, his bishop is still hanging, his g6 pawn is still hanging. If he takes my knight, I checkmate him, so I like that. This works. e6. And the plan is not to queen my pawn, it's to free up. Oh, if he does that, I'm really happy. Thank you very much. I wanted to do this. No, I'm not sure I wanted to do this. Oh yeah, I am sure I wanted to do this because I play knight e5 now. Knight e5, if he takes on h5 or on e5, I win the rook because d takes e5 wins. Okay. Although knight e5, knight h5, no arrows. Takes the rook, knight takes. Knight e5, knight h5, rook f8, knight f8. Ah, I can take the bishop. I can take the bishop. Okay. I need to concentrate and calculate. Knight e5, knight h5, rook f8, knight f8, rook f8 check, king to g7, knight takes c6, attacking the rook. Okay, that works. That works. And if he doesn't do anything, just bishop takes g6, wins a pawn and an exchange. End the game after that because his f8 knight is pinned. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, okay, e6 was good. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. I'm sorry if it's too long, but I wanted to... Oh, he resigned. Woohoo! Okay. Okay, 2 good games. 81 points to go. Let's analyze this one. I think I played well, although I'm not sure if my knight e2 was a good move. Okay, so e4... b6, knight d2. Knight d2 is more sensible. Knight c3 is weird. Bishop b4, f3 is a mistake. d5. Oof. e5 is a horrible move. But yeah, knight e7 as I said, and now he wants to play c5. As soon as he doesn't take my bishop, he is worse. Okay, c3. I'm slightly worse here, but... And now I'm better. Knight f4 is the best move. Bishop g5 is fine, +1. Queen d2. Yeah. Knight f4 was best. I played knight c3, which is still better for me, but... Okay, queen h6, gh6, knight b5 is correct, castles, knight d6 is correct, bishop c6, knight b5 is okay, and yeah, now taking on e6. Now, I just want to see my plan of e6. Was that the best move? Knight h5. Rook f1 is okay. e6 best move, yes. Knight e5 best move. Okay. Ooh, I finally played a good game. Finally I played a good game. And wait, I'm going to have a look at the other game I played as well. Okay, analysis board. Let's look at this one. This is all fine. Yeah, and after a3 and h3, black is equal, which is understandable. I should have played d takes c4. I tried to calculate d takes c4, but I didn't know what to do after knight d2. Oh, bishop d3. Oh, okay. Okay, makes sense. Now cd5. Okay, let's see if after cd5 I should have taken with the c pawn. Yeah, c takes is best. Okay. Bishop d6 is correct. Bishop e8 is worse than a6. Yeah. Just knight e4 immediately, but that's fine. Here I castled, which is okay. Knight e4 best move. And now I played knight g5, which from a human perspective I thought was a good move. Gf4. Knight b6 is okay. Queen a5 is, yeah. Yeah, now game over. Okay, I played 2 good games today. Whew, happy finally. Okay, see you tomorrow with more training games. 81 points to go, as I said. Tonight, or today, I'm facing James Morby, who is 21-30 something FIDE, very strong player. He crushed me in 17 moves at the Split Open, so cross your fingers that I do well. I'm going to record the analysis either after the game or tomorrow. Okay, thanks very much for watching. Let me know what you think about these games. I think I finally played well. These were lower rated opponents, but still, I won. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye bye.